Hey everyone, welcome back to the Glass and Milk Kitchen. We're here with another vlog today. I finished all the books that I talked about in my first vlog, which is actually funny. I think I posted about 5 books, and of the 5, my favorite that I read was The Girl's Guide to Love and Supper Clubs, which was the book with the pink cupcake on the front. So out of the 5 books, that was not the one I would have thought would have been my favorite. I just totally picked it up on a whim, but it was actually a pretty good piece of chick lit, and it was written about DC, so it was fun to hear about the places that I see all the time. So I just got back from the library, and I have 5 new books that I thought I'd share with you, things I'm looking forward to reading next. The first is called Bootstrapper. It's by Marty Jo Link, and the subtitle for this one is From Broke to Badass on a Northern Michigan Farm. So this is about a woman, it's her memoir, and she gets divorced and ends up with no money. And so she, as you can tell, is on a Michigan farm. And so she starts making things from scratch and living sort of more of a homesteady kind of life. And one of my secret dreams, so my number one dream is that I want to live at the beach all day, every day, and have nothing to do in perfect weather. Doesn't that sound nice? But like a secret dream that I have is I always thought it would be really cool to live on a farm, make everything from scratch, and not the biggest animal person, but I don't know, the thought just sort of appeals to me anyway. So I guess it's my inner hippie coming out. And so my inner hippie is really excited to read this book and hear how this goes for the author. So that's my first one. My second book that I'm really looking forward to, I just picked up off the new arrivals shelf at the library. It's called Blue Plate Special by Kate Christensen. And it's a food memoir, so we're seeing a food theme here with this visit. I've got one more about food. But this is one of my favorite genres when the writing's good. So I don't always love food memoirs, but I find that when they're good, they're really good. And on the inside flap, they compared the author to MFK Fisher and Laurie Colwin, Ruth Reichel. So she's in good company on the inside flaps. I hope the inside lives up to, or the actual pages live up to the inside flap. And this is one of those books where, at the end of some of the chapters, there'll be a recipe or two, which I just love that style. So excited about this one. The next book has nothing to do with food. It's by Kate Atkinson, and she wrote Life After Life, which is the book that everyone is talking about this summer. So I'm on the list for that at the library, but while I wait for that to come in, I thought I would try this one. This one was on display, and it's about 3 separate crimes that take place in a town. And they seem to be pretty distinct events until, I guess, we keep reading more of the story and they start to become intertwined and be more related. And the story's told from the perspectives of people who were there at the time. So it sounds like a really interesting premise, and then just something to do to pass the time until her other book comes in for me. The next one is by Erica Bauermeister. It's called The Lost Art of Mixing, and I don't think it's a sequel. I think it's a companion to her first book, which is The School of Essential Ingredients. I loved that story. I read it on the plane on the way to visit my friend Laura, who lives in Texas, and I think I read the entire book on the plane, and then the first night that I was there, I was probably like really antisocial and didn't even talk because I just wanted to finish the book. It's beautiful, beautiful food writing. It's about a woman named Lillian who owns a restaurant and hosts cooking classes, and each chapter of the book was a different person's perspective, and it talked about how they came together for the class, but then also their life stories and sort of what went into the food they were cooking. So as far as I understand, this is a separate cast of characters, but again, about Lillian and her restaurant and the people who come together there. So excited about this one. Hope it's as good as the first. And then the last book is the one I was most excited to read out of all of these. I've been waiting for this one. I've been on hold for it for a little while. It's called Adulting. It's How to Become a Grown-Up in 468 Easy-ish Steps, and it's by Kelly Williams Brown. And I love this book because if you know me, you know that I'm really into etiquette. Doing things the proper way, the right way, has always been an interest of mine. I have Emily Post's Guide to Etiquette. I have Kate Spade's Manners book. Super into it. And this book sort of seems to have a lot of the same information, but presented in a funnier way with a much more humorous tone, much less formal approach. But flipping through it already, it's not written in chapters. It's written in different steps. I don't know if you can see there. So the information seems to match up and still be pretty solid. So she talks about writing thank you notes. On this page, she talks about never RSVPing maybe. Huge pet peeve of mine when people RSVP maybe to things. You can either come or you can't, and if you can't come, just say no, it's okay. She talks about how to dress at home, how to dress in the workplace. So the advice seems good, but I'm really excited to read it in terms of having that kind of funnier approach and in terms of going from that young adult stage to really feeling like you are actually an adult now. So super thrilled about this one and can't wait. This, I think, is the one that I'm going to start reading first. So I'm going to go dig into this, and I hope you all have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here soon.